Let's go live on another bicycle live stream. It's oh, I can't go that way. Okay, they've closed the footpath. Well, that's just annoying. Anyway, it's Saturday, October the 10th at 7:10 a.m. I've ridden nearly 40 kilometres, and it's warm. It's nice. A beautiful spring morning this morning. So this morning's topic is the distressing pursuit of happiness. I was going to call it, anyway, that's what I'm calling it. I had some other name, but I was going to call it the distress of happiness, I think, originally. But the distressing pursuit of happiness. Now, one of the sad things that I've seen over the years is when people chase an illusion and a lie with an end result of it becoming quite distressing to them. So you see, you know, when we're growing up, we're sort of fed this BS that, you know, we'll become happy when we achieve certain things, when we have a certain quota of money and relationship and status and work and health and all these things that, you know, supposedly bring us to this point where that's the equivalent of us being happy. And what we see is that you get people that have achieved you know, immense wealth and have these, you know, have luxury, and yet they are completely distressed. They're not at peace at all. The lie is very quickly proven that it is a lie when you reach the goal and it didn't reward with what it said it should. So we see this in many different ways, and we see this often. I notice it especially with so-called successful business people and you know, people that have achieved in different areas. And it's fascinating to sort of look at how unhappy they are in the way they live their lives, the addictions that they've developed to try and cope with the fact that they're not happy, the alcoholism, the drug use, any other sort of uses that are unhealthy. They're coping mechanisms for the fact that they've got all this money, they've got this success, they've got this status, and they've got everything, but they've really got nothing at all. And they're actually in, here's the irony, they're in somewhat of a worse space, somewhat, than someone who hasn't got there yet. Than someone who's still struggling, who's still going, oh yeah, you know, when I get my own house and when I settle down and I'll have it made then and I'll be happy. See, the person in that state hasn't got to the point where they realise it's a lie and it doesn't bring happiness. So while the carrot is still dangling in front of us, we still chase that carrot and we still think that that's where the happiness is, because everybody else is doing it. Everybody else is struggling to get married and have kids and get a house and get promotions in their work and buy everything material, and everyone seems to be struggling to do it. And everything we watch on TV, all the media, the stories that we are fed through the news, through the movies, everything points to that direction, that, you know, that's the goal. You got to do it, and you know, you're a loser if you don't. And so the person living on the street feels like a complete loser because they haven't got to that point. The person that's got to that point feels like a complete distressed loser because they've got to that point and they can't figure out why they're still not happy. Now, here's a very simple equation to keep in mind that helps us to understand why that's the case in one very simple short sentence. Pleasure is not happiness. To expand on that, Pleasure cannot bring you happiness. It brings you temporary sense gratification. It cannot bring you happiness. It's just not possible. Pleasure is a material titillation of our senses. And so if our goal in life is to keep looking for the pleasure, for the titillation, to have the things that will bring it to us, then it's not a goal that's going to give us happiness. Just hang on a sec, I've got a car here. Right. So if we understand that pleasure does not give us happiness, we reset our goals. But let's do a little bit of note-taking here and just have a look at the way the world is. We start off by asking ourselves, are we happy? And this is the start of self-inquiry. And we go, well, no, I'm not happy. You go, okay. And why is that? And you start looking at the world and you go, well, every day is a struggle. Every day is a struggle. I've got to struggle with getting up in the morning, going to work, arguing with people, arguing with my partner, people having different opinions, people in the traffic not liking the way I drive, the list. You create your own list. You can just go on and on and on, right? It's like everything is a struggle. Every day I've got to wash my body, I've got to clean my teeth, I've got to dust everything in the house because it gets dusty every day. I've got to vacuum the carpet because it's always getting dirty. I've got to clean the pool. Everything. It doesn't stop. And then there's, can anyone possibly enjoy that struggle? No. And that's just some of the basic stuff. Every day I'm getting older. Every day, if I don't keep fit, if I don't if I give in to temptation, then the health of my body is deteriorating. By temptation, I mean, not eating well, or, sorry about the wind, not eating well, or worse temptations like alcohol and drugs and stuff like that. As we live our life, we gain friends, but we notice that after a while we're losing friends, we lose loved ones, they pass away. None of this is something that we look forward to or something that makes us happy. See, I'm struggling now against a strong wind. This is material nature. This is the reality of the daily struggle. It comes in little things, it comes in big things. There's a pollution, overpopulation, violence, poverty, suffering. We live in a world where we always have to be on guard. We have to be on guard. I mean, there was a thing that popped up. Somebody said how liberating it would be to be a woman who could just go out in the middle of the night and just feel safe walking on the streets. And I really dwelled on that and I thought, wow, yeah, that's actually a really important point, that you can't be a woman and feel that you could be safe just going out in the city or maybe even in the countryside and at night, and feel you'd have to have a degree of being on guard. If somebody else was close to you, you'd start to be, protective. You'd start to be like, oh, I hope they're not a mugger, I hope they're not a rapist, that sort of thing. Now, that doesn't just apply to women, it applies to guys as well, but women are more affected by it from, statistics and that. But so we have to be on guard all the time against people that want to steal things from us, that want to attack us, that want to argue with us. Yeah, how do you be happy in that situation? You see, and then there's the endless greed and all the end results of it. There's the 70 billion land animals slaughtered yearly because of our endless desires that we don't care who gets killed in the pursuit of our endless desires. There's 1 million people, new kids born into the world every week. Now just ponder that one for a minute, because I only recently heard that statistic. 1 million. Our population increases by 1 million a week. We already have poverty, suffering, overpopulation, pollution, and we're adding 1 million people a week worldwide to it. And you go, holy shirt balls. And then everything deteriorates every day. Everything's getting older, everything's getting worn out. You buy a new car, the next day it's a day old, the next day it's a day older, and it's slowly getting worn out. And life is an insincere facade, basically, because of the selfishness of our desires and the mask we wear, and saying, oh, pretending that you are a certain sort of a person when you're not. Just a moment, I've just got to do something here for a moment. So, all of these struggles have an intention. Shirt balls, Christy likes that. That came from a TV series, The Good Life. It came from The Good Life. She'd go, forking shirt balls. Anyway, So, all of this struggle serves a purpose. When we ask ourselves, are we happy? The question shouldn't be, are we happy? The question should be, how can we possibly be? How can we possibly be in this environment happy? How? I mean, sadly, people go insane. And in that insanity, in that lost in their own mind, is a degree of happiness. It's like, because they're not dealing with the reality of it. It's like they don't know better. Another reaction to the insanity of the world that we live in is that, sadly, some people decide to check out early. And that's really, really sad, that they decide that they can't handle it anymore. And just waiting for the cyclist, which is ironic, and morning, and they decide they can't handle it anymore and they check out early. Now this creates so much more problems for themselves. It's not a solution, and for their loved ones left behind. So it's very, very sad when people decide to do that and thinking that that's the solution to finding the happiness. So what is the winning move? The winning move is not to play the game, to quote the line out of War Games, the movie. The winning move is not to play the game. The winning move is to see the game, see beyond the matrix, to realize that what you're searching for cannot be found here. It can't be found here. It's that simple. If you think it can, you will spend the rest of your life chasing shadows, chasing illusions, a carrot dangling in front of your face. You will be doing everything that materialism teaches you will bring happiness and satisfaction, only to know in the back of your mind, in the bottom of your heart, that you're not at peace. Now, you know what I'm talking about. You've felt it. You've felt the disconnection. You've felt the loneliness. You know what I'm talking about. So the only way out is up. Spiritually is the only way out. You have to make a spiritual connection. You have no choice. You can go, oh, no, I don't want to. Good luck with that. You're never going to be at peace if you don't. You can't be. It is physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually impossible to be at peace if you don't make a spiritual connection. And I don't set the rules. I'm just a messenger, as I've said many times before. That is the end game. That is the scenario that we're living in. So this is a wake-up call for you. I highly recommend that you develop a daily spiritual habit of meditation and spiritual connection in order to be able to remove yourself from the distressing pursuit of fake happiness and move into to pursuit of real happiness and real love. I hope you've got something from this. I hope you have a great day and live vegan and save lives. Ahimsa.